Welcome back to Last Request Barbecue. We've got a great fish dish ready for you today. We've got some great fresh halibut from our friends at Longo's Fresh Caught. We're going to put a few spices on that. We're going to put that in this amazing sauce that I've discovered at Longo's, which is a Freestone peach and ghost pepper. So we're really looking forward to see how that interacts with this beautiful fish. We're actually going to cook that fish on this all new product my friends at Reynolds sent me, which is Ultimate Grilling Barbecue. Check that out. Barbecue aluminum foil. So this is the perfect recipe to use barbecue foil on, because when you're always cooking your fish, it sticks and you never get it quite right. So really looking forward to taking this for a test drive. Thanks to my friends at Reynolds and Alcan for that. And we're going to do lots of veggies. We're going to do these sous vide potatoes as well. So they're already shrink wrapped. Pressure shrinked. We're going to do that sous vide. We're doing sous vide cooking, a little bit of sous vide cooking today. I'll show you how that works, but let's get started. Once again, welcome back. So for those of you that might not be familiar, this is sous vide cooking. So this is an ANOVA, that's my choice for the product. And what it does really is you set a temperature and it perfectly cooks whatever you have in it. Meat, fish, veggies are fantastic. And it goes in the water, but not in the water. It's not boiling, if you know what I mean. It's actually shrink wrapped into this. It's water resistant. The water doesn't get in here. I've mixed in some butter in here and just sucked all the air out, so that way it doesn't float. Now you don't need necessarily one of these machines. You can put a bag and try to get the air out. It never works for me. I just never get it done. In fact, I bought this device really. It's a container, and it just holds the heat in. And right now I've got it set for 190 degrees, and it's going to cook for an hour. It's going to cook perfectly for 1 solid hour. So you simply put the potatoes in, make sure they're fully submerged. Right on. Put the top back on. As you see, the temperature dropped a little bit, down to 87.5, but that'll quickly get back up to 190 degrees. The water is circulating and moving, and in 1 hour, these will be done. So that's sous vide potatoes, just a little bit of butter, very simple, but they will be crisp with a snap. You can put this, by the way, on a pot, whatever you want. I used to have a pot, but then you lose some heat. So this is why I love this container that really is molded around the sous vide machine. And, well, you'll see the outcome of that a little bit later. All right, let's prep the fish. So I've taken the fish out of its packaging, three beautiful pieces of fresh caught halibut. I'm going to start with a bit of salt, and that salt and pepper will actually add and suck out a bit of the moisture of the fish, so we get a nice crisp bit of fish. So a bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. All right, now I'm also going to put on some carne asada. Is this too many spices? I don't know, we're gonna fill out. It's not recommended, so to speak, for fish, but recommendations are for whatever. I'm just gonna add a little bit of it, because I like to pop up that spice a little bit. I like it all to accumulate. Beautiful. And then we're going to put our Longo's Freestone Peach and Ghost Pepper sauce on. I'm going to do this in two ways. One now, as we prep the fish, and then another when the fish is done, or as I'm cooking the fish, as the fish opens up. Very nice. And in fact, what I'll do as that kind of soaks in, I'm going to score the fish a little bit, just to add some texture. There's some places for all these spices to kind of find a nice home. A cross pattern. It'll make the fish cook up nice as well. Spread it while I'm here. And we'll let that sit a bit. Next step will be the vegetables. We've got a mess of fresh vegetables here. Some of these zucchini, fresh from the garden. My daughter Sierra loves these vegetables grilled. We got a mess of them. We'll go through them. There's no starch. Well, there's a starch with the potatoes, but a little bit of, we've got some guests tonight, so a lot of these veg, and they can go into a number of different things tomorrow. So kind of intentional leftovers, as Sam, the cooking guy, would say. So we're just going to start putting these on and managing these, the larger ones at the back and the thinner ones closer to the front. The Crown variety, as I've always said, has different purposefully, hotter at the back, a little cooler at the front, allows you to kind of vary this temperature. So we're just going to put all these veggies together and start this cook, and time it well. Really what we're timing for is the sous vide potatoes, which are ready in about 50 minutes. These can be done in advance and prepped and stayed warm, but right now we're just getting them grilling and get some grilling marks going on them. Now I mentioned we're going to be giving a try to this all new Ultimate Grilling Foil. Check that out. So really, I did this more so for the fish than anything else, and Sierra does like grill marks on her veggies, but maybe I'm just gonna try a little bit and see how this grilling foil works from the veggie perspective. Perfect. I'll put a few different things on here. Let's see what happens. Let's give it a go. Check that out. It is an armada of veggies today. And just to make it easier on my fingers, since it's such a big cook, I have these wonderful tongs, which are kind of these placement narrow, really narrow tongs that are really wonderful for getting small veggies. So we're just checking it out now, and this way, with such a wide landscape of veggies, look at that color, we're going to flip those using this and then back into our pan. Of course, we've got some on our Alcan, I should say, ultimate grilling foil. Looking forward again to using that. All right, we're about halfway through the veggie part of the cook. I have to say, I'm really impressed by this Alcan barbecue cooking. I didn't expect this. Look at the grill marks that we're getting on these veg on top of the aluminum foil. It's fantastic. I did not expect that. Look at this. Look at this pepper. It's getting some beautiful grill marks. You're not going to know, Sierra's not going to know the difference between cooked on the grill or cooked on the aluminum foil, and you know, we just have a lot less man overboard situations, as I call them. So most of these are ready to flip. So let's do some flipping. Some of these are, oh, see, there I just lost one. Wouldn't have lost it on the Reynolds. I think in the future I might give it a quick spray of a canola, just to, as these things are a little grabby, but no big deal. As you can see, I'm pulling them right off. It's not a big deal at all. There we go. All right, and the work continues. All right, next step of our cook, we're gonna do some lovely, lovely rapino. We're gonna do some lovely vegetables, and we're gonna put that into our pan, which is getting a little hot. So let's add in our avocado oil. Love avocado oil, good for you, and it's got a great smoke point. As you can see, this pan was pretty hot, but the avocado oil is not smoking. So let's add in our rapini. There we go, I got it right. It looks like a lot in the pan, but it's gonna work itself down quite nicely. So next I'm gonna get our other grill going, and we're gonna do some peppers. These wonderful little peppers are poppers. Get those at Longo's, get those at a lot of different grocers. And you poke them with a fork, and then it's kind of like a little bit of Mexican Russian roulette. 1 out of every 10 is hot, the rest are nice and savory. So let's give those a try. We'll heat those up. Mixing that up, so all of our Rapini versus Megan Rapinoe, which is what I was thinking. I think the soccer star, and her sister, by the way, has got a great cannabis company for athlete recovery, who I've interviewed on the Voice of Retail podcast, Megan Rapinoe. All right, while our Rapini is cooking, I've got this other pan 2, and we're gonna put in the poppers and just get them going as well.
Whoop, man overboard.
All right, right in with the Rapini. I'll check those out. Now, by the way, red doesn't equal hot, as you might think. It's impossible, practically, to know which one's the hot one and which one's the savory one. That kind of makes the fun out of it. Now, our Rapini is ready for a little bit of love. So we're going to put lemon juice, about half a lemon. We're going to put about 5 buds of garlic, plus or minus. And we're going to put a bit of balsamic vinegar, and then we're going to take it off the heat and let that just cook in. There we go. Toss that a bit. You don't want to overcook your Rapini, and then the rest of the cook finishes itself in the cast iron pan. And we're going to substitute here with our peppers, which are starting to scold up nicely. Beautiful. Turn that heat up a bit. All right, so we got a couple of things happening. I'm just taking these off the side burner just to kind of show you how they're going. Nice glisten again with the avocado oil. You just want to scold those. See that? Those scold marks? Eventually, I'll let the pan do the rest of the cooking. But for now, a little bit more on that. And check this out. So we've put our halibut on our aluminum foil. I gave it from Alcan barbecue aluminum foil. I gave it a bit of a spray just to make sure to add a little bit of non-stick. Look at that. Let's just see how that's working out. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Not sticking at all. These are big pieces of fish. Beautiful. In fact, getting a little toasty under there, which is fantastic. Look at that. Give it a flip. Now these are big, thick pieces of fish, so we're going to need to pay some special attention to them. Beautiful. Let's let that continue to cook through Now ordinarily, you know, in a typical cook, I'd be ripping these off the grate. So really liking this. Still gives us the feel of the barbecue, the grate experience. Our poppers are almost done. So I've taken them off the direct heat. There's no direct heat on this part of the barbecue. It's on these 3 burners. And now I'm going to put in some finishing salt, some smoked finishing salt flakes. What I like about the flakes is they'll melt actually. Let's give that a shake. Distribute those up a little bit. And you can hear the pan is still nice and hot. So it's all about managing the heat, when to pull them off, when to overcook them, when not to overcook them, more likely. If I move them around, the heat that's resonant in the pan will finish the cook, and just leave those and let those go. These are very thick pieces of fish. So actually what I think I might do is stand these up. Look at that, perfect pull, right? Doesn't stick at all, beautiful. Oh, look at that piece of fish, isn't that beautiful? You see where I scored it. I'm gonna put it on the side here, try to get all sides. Again, I imagine if I was trying to do that on the grates, this would be a fairly messy cook. So really, again, impressed by this Alcon product. Okay, now comes the fun. What temperature should you cook fish to? Fish really, you know, by government reg is around 145, but 145 is a bit on the dry side. So I'm going to use my meter, which is a Wi-Fi enabled thermometer. Comme ça. And then we check that app on our phone. So let's see how it's going. So right now our cook is at 105, 104, 105. So let's move this back a bit into the heat of the full heat of the Crown Verity and bump up the heat a bit. There we go. And now I'm going to put a little bit more of our ghost pepper on it. And we'll just let that cook for, I don't know, it's at 102. So we got about 10 minutes to go, which is about perfect. All right, we're almost ready, according to the meter app. 130, perfect. Let's wrap this, let's call this a game. Sous vide's gone off. We are good, done and done. We'll open this up into a bowl. Beautiful. There's some butter in there rolling around. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Note, perfect. You know what I just realized? What I can do is lift up the entire aluminum foil, hadn't thought of this, and put it back on the tray and then bring the tray inside. Huh, hadn't thought of that. It's a nice heavyweight aluminum foil. I mean, it needs to be to take the punishment. Oh, there we go, beautiful. All right, now we're gonna plate it. We got our halibut ready. It's been sitting for a while. So let's just cut up a few pieces. There's a lot of halibut here, but it is cooked perfectly. And look at that, comes right off, ready to be plated. See, let's get a shot of the whole table. Let's get a shot of everything on the table. Let's go take a look at what we made here. So we've got our rapini with lemon, garlic, and balsamic vinegar. We have our poppers with a bit of avocado oil and smoked salt. We've got our potatoes done in the sous vide with butter, and then we got our fresh veg done with a whole bunch of things. Fantastic.